Hashem, continuing our discussion of the laws of medicine on Shabbos, says the Rabbi Appel, if you feel discomfort, but you're able to function as a healthy person, you can't do any medicine on Shabbos. But he has a footnote here. Medicine that's prescribed to be taken daily can still be taken on Shabbos if its omission would result in illness or would delay or jeopardize recovery. For example, a woman who's daily taking fertility pills is permitted to take them on Shabbos. In general, you do not need to take a strict view regarding the use of medicines on Shabbos, especially since people no longer prepare their own medicines. And most people are not even capable of doing so. Next law. You may eat any food or drink any beverage that is normally consumed by people in good health, even if it's apparent that it's intended as a resume. You're not allowed to eat or drink as a cure whenever is not considered a food or beverage by healthy people. You're permitted to drink sweet syrup, to swallow a raw egg to make sure your voice is more pleasant, as it's not medicinal. What about taking vitamins, sedatives, and aspirin? You're permitted to take, how does he spell aspirin? Let me ask, I don't know if he got that right. How do you spell aspirin? I'm going to ask them. Yeah, I'm sure he's right and I'm wrong, but I never realized they spelled it like that. Yep, he got it right and I was wrong for even questioning him. There's an I after the P. That I didn't realize. Okay. You're permitted to take vitamins on Shabbos, as it's common for healthy people to take vitamins to preserve their health and prevent illness. Sedatives or tranquilizers taken to calm the nerves and release tension are likewise permitted on Shabbos because tension and lack of sleep can cause considerable pain or adversely affect the person's whole body. Opinions differ on the permissibility of taking aspirin for mild ache or pain. Someone who has a severe headache may take aspirin. What about medication for mild aches or for prevention? A generally healthy person with mild aches, such as a stomach ache and heartburn, should not take any medication on Shabbos. But you're allowed to drink soda with lemon to obtain relief. If the pain is severe and the ailment affects the whole body, you're permitted to take medicine to alleviate it. Permitted to suck a candy even if it's to keep from coughing, but not medicated cough drops, unless you have a severe cough or cold. You may also take medicine that is intended as a preventative measure. For example, a person who suffers from hemorrhoids or is prone to constipation may take a laxative. Moreover, if necessary, relief can be sought by means of a suppository or an enema. Medicine for the relief of diarrhea may be taken by someone who is ill. Okay. Next one. If you have a mild toothache, and are not in great pain, you should not take some vinegar or liquor for relief and then spit it out, as spitting it out makes it apparent that it was taken as medicine. Rather, you should swallow it or dip it on a piece of bread and eat it in the usual manner. If you have a sore throat, you should not just gargle some liquor to relieve the soreness. You should swallow it. Rinsing with mouthwash. You may rinse your mouth with mouthwash on Shabbos, since it's not for medicinal purposes, but for clean breath. We discussed clean breath in Daf today because it said, Abaye said at first I thought people didn't eat vegetables that fell on the floor because it was disgusting. But now I realize it's because it causes bad breath. So we see that a body doesn't want people to have bad breath. Where massaging with oil is done only for medicinal treatment, you're not allowed to try to relieve pain in your limbs. A footnote here. You may not apply Vaseline, moisturizer, hand creams to the hands or other parts of the body. However, if the condition causes minor pain, you're permitted to apply oil or some other liquid lotion, but not chapstick to dry cracked lips or hands. Vaseline may be applied by a nursing woman if she's sore, or on a baby to relieve or prevent diaper rash. Okay, next. You're allowed to apply a hot water bag to your ear and to other parts of your body as well in order to obtain relief from pain. Oy, sounds painful. Next one. You're not allowed to apply anything to try to heal a slight discomfort in your eyes. Well, that one's we're not going to do that one. 7. If you have a superficial wound, you should not place a bandage with ointment or unmedicated dressing on it for the purpose of healing. But you are permitted to cover with a bandage to keep it clean and protect it from irritation. The dressing was on from before. You may cleanse the wound by lifting the bandage partly at one end and then at the other without removing the bandage altogether. You're not permitted to ask a non-Jew to prepare a bandage with ointment on Shabbos unless it is a severe wound that has affected the whole body. Footnote 10. Cleansing and treating a wound. You may cleanse a wound on Shabbos by first applying water or an antiseptic such as hydrogen peroxide and then wiping it dry. You should not apply absorbent cotton that have been soaked with water or with antiseptic. Since iodine causes considerable staining, you should rather use tincture of iodides, which is colorless. You may bandage a wound to keep it from being infected. You may apply ointment to a wound by pressing it out of the tube or dabbing it on without rubbing it, and then covering it with a cloth or bandage. It is advisable to prepare bandages of various types before Shabbos. You may apply a medicated bandage to a wound if it was prepared before Shabbos. The bandage should not be secured with a double knot, but with a single knot, a bow, or with a clip or safety pin. You may remove it on Shabbos for adjustment. You may apply a bandage with adhesive tape, which is a Band-Aid. You should not remove the adhesive from your skin if it will pull out hair unless it is essential. A lot going on there. Okay, next. You are not permitted to place a cloth on a wound that is bleeding slightly because the blood will color it. You should first wash away the blood with water or wine. Why? What? This is not connected to reality. If this does not stop the bleeding, then the medication and bandages should be applied as necessary. Okay. Some of these I'm not reading, they're too strict. Sorry. Okay. You may remove a splinter with a needle, but you should take care not to cause bleeding, since you're not allowed to make a wound on Shabbos. If someone is in bed due to illness, although it is not life-threatening or suffers from debilitating ailment, which has affected the whole body, and is likened to being bedridden, you're permitted to ask a non-Jew to administer medical treatment and cook for the sick person. This is called a chola she'ein bo sakana. Such a patient may take medicines and have medical treatment administered either by himself or by others, provided it does not involve violating a malacha. Let's look at the footnotes. A sick person is confined to bed may summon help by ringing an ordinary bell on Shabbos, even though that is generally not allowed. A patient in the hospital may summon a nurse by ringing an electric bell, provided it does not put on an incandescent light. In an emergency, when the patient has to go to the bathroom, she may ring the bell in an indirect manner, even if we'll put on a light. person who is dangerously ill may ring a bell to summon help under all circumstances. Someone whose illness is not critical. A person who experiences severe pain, such as a migraine, and a feeling of weakness and fatigue throughout the body is considered to be ill, although not critically ill, and is permitted to take medicine. Someone who is running a fever above normal temperature is likewise considered to be non-critically ill, and they can take medicine. However, someone who has a normally high fever is considered to be critically ill. In general, especially with children, where there's a fever, you should practice caution. Children up to the age of 9 or 10 or older, depending upon their physical condition and a stage of development, are considered to be in need of spiritual care. You're therefore permitted to do whatever is necessary for them. For example, even if a child has a high fever and needs to be put in the bath, you can run some hot water. Hold on 1 second. Yeah. Who is this man? Jakob what? Have you been here before? First time? Where do you live? Are you just visiting Elon? Love it.
I used to be in my GW.
Is your father a rabbi? Oh, I think I know him. I think I met him. Oh, that's beautiful. All right, we'll stop the Shabbos here. We'll go on to the Rashi. First, we'll take